I think we ended with bondage. I believe that's where we left off. Was I just never got caught up in the bondage. Um, the place that I'm at right now, all right, the place I have evolved to is, I call it the Geico State. I am at the Geico State. That means graduated, elevated, and initiated into my core operant, operant power. Yes, yes. It's all about the core. It's all about the core. It's a constant graduation. I should say graduation. Yes, I think you're consistently in some form of graduation. You're always in a cycle elevation, and if you are a if you are a student of life, you're always going into another level of initiation. And so that's why I call it the Geico stage of life. Yeah, at 60, I'm certainly at the Geico stage of life. And I've been very fortunate not to have been caught up in bondage. Um, I've made my transition. I transitioned out of the church, the traditional church. I made that transition not because somebody hurt me or anything like that, but because of my own personal awareness of my growth. And again, like I addressed the whole God conversation about the name God, and you can see that in the other part of the video, because I recognize it as the Most High, as the divine, which is the divine in me, and the Most High, the Great Spirit. Yes, I have elevated. I have been initiated to an awareness that allows me to understand that it's all about presence. Presence in the present. In the present here and now. Where is your consciousness in the here and now? I'm not talking about astral traveling, you know, all this. Oh my goodness, some people are just like trying to establish themselves somewhere else outside of the present. They haven't even mastered the present, but yet you're going to go to another realm without mastering the present. That's where you need to begin, because it's what you establish here and now that's going to present you what's going to be in your future or in your afterlife, because there is no death. And that's a whole nother understanding. You've got to be initiated into that understanding that there is no death, that you are eternal. You came here eternal. That's my answer. That's my answer. You are eternal. You came here. As I said before, I was born into this thing, not born into the church tradition. I was born into the spirit of the Most High, born as an eternal being. I went through the church and came through the church as a formalized tradition that was established in the present time of what was happening on earth. So it was a medium, so to speak, to transition through. But the Spirit of the Most High, as the people that we are, and I'm just saying, I can say this, I believe, collectively, as the people that we are, it's not the church, it's the Spirit. It's not the building, it's the Spirit. So it's not about a religion, because as I was told by one of my husbands, you heard what I said, one of my husbands, as I was told, I am the church. Yes. And always have been. It's always been me. It's always been within me. I've never had to go looking for it. I've always been aware that God, as one would say, was always present within me. The Most High, the Great Spirit, whatever you want to call this life force, this life source, this life energy was always present with me. I came with it. I came out my mama's womb with it. That's why I said I've always moved that way. So when someone says to me, "Oh, you left the church," and someone might say to you, "Oh, you left the church," I don't know how come they believe that when you transition out of church, that means as though you've left God. Listen, when I arrive at your church, I've had everything, all the great spirit of God within me came and showed up. When I leave, it goes and leaves with me. So whatever you got going on in your church building, that's what you got going on. But baby, this right here is the temple of the Most High. Always have been. And I think as soon as we understand that, as soon as we understand who we are as that spirit being, ooh, in the here and now, we can't be duped. You can't be duped by all these people telling you, you know, oh, you can have this and you can have all that you want, all this law of attraction, all this, you know, all the, stop being duped. Understand that you've been given a blueprint, already established, a sacred blueprint. You cannot rescript the blueprint. Some people are trying to rescript and they're wondering why they're not accomplishing, because that which is in you is already coming forth. The writing is already on the wall. All you got to do is go within. Go within. But anyway, see what happens? You know, I already knew what you was going to ask. So I'm just responding to the questions before you even ask them. That's my take on it. That's just my piece of it. That's just my part.